Hello, and welcome to Mornings with a Mentor. My name is Diller Schwartz, and I'm your host. Please join me on Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. while I interview top talent in our KW Austin family.
Yeah, so I'm Lesley, and I am serving on the Bernie Real Estate team group right now. Well, not right now, for probably the rest of my life. I am married. I have three children. They are all teenagers. One of them's married and out of the house already. Um, and real estate has been an incredible journey for me. That's about it. I don't have any like fantastic hobbies or do anything amazing or incredible, just working on raising a good family and doing business.
And what's your volume look like over the past 3 years?
Over the past 3 years, woo, that has fluctuated a tremendous amount. So 3 years ago, it was I think I did like 75 deals. Last year went down to I think I was like in the 24 range. My role changed a significant amount, and the market changed tremendously. And so this year I am back in sales full time, and I'm currently sitting at about, I think I'm pretty close to 30, including
30,
what I have
30 transactions or 30?
transactions.
Okay.
30 transactions. Yes. I'm sitting like right under 9 million, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then do you work both sides? Do you work sellers and buyers?
I do. So that has been another significant change. I strictly did buyers for 3 years, and I love buyers. Sellers, I was super scared to inch my way into, and have gotten over that in the last couple of years. And so now I mean, it's pretty equal as far as sellers and buyers go.
All right. What was the fear with sellers?
You know what? So that's actually something that I had to figure out. My very first transaction 8 years ago was a seller, and it was a friend, and put the house on the market, had two offers come in, and it was going fabulous for a new agent, right? Like fabulous. And they decided not to sell, and it kind of tore at our relationship, and I don't know, it like left a bad taste in my mouth. And so it took me a really long time to get over that. Where with buyers, I mean, it like I love people, I love relationship, and you spend a lot of time with buyers, you get to know them really well. And so it fit me. And then having that bad experience with sellers, I just was not sure how to navigate those relationships at a high level. And so it took me a while to get over that and to figure it out.
That is an interesting, I guess I've not really thought about it that way. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you go on an appointment with a seller, you do everything you're going to do. Maybe you show back up and sort of prep their house, you take photos, and then really it's phone calls.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
transactional.
You don't go and, I mean, I guess you could go and hang out with your seller clients, but you don't drive them around. You're not in and out. You're not
Hmm.
hearing a lot of their, oh, I can see my kids living this way or doing this way. So,
Right.
yep, that's a good point. All right, so let's get started. I know that you're on vacation today. So let's pretend that today is any other Wednesday that you're not on vacation.
Okay.
What would your daily priorities look like?
My daily priorities, um, definitely kids, right? Dealing with that, and having fun with raising them. And outside of that, it's absolutely checking emails, checking in with other agents, and checking in with my database, my top 5 people, and seeing what we have going on there. Um, there are parts of the company that I'm still responsible for as far as, so I was director of sales full time. That's what I was doing. And so there are pieces of that that I'm still responsible for. So looking over numbers, seeing where everybody is, figuring out how I can help other agents, push transactions along or build relationships. Um, yeah, those are probably my top.
So how does a lead or a client, I'm not sure how you identify them, but get to be in your top 5?
Uh, motivation and motivation is definitely number one. And then qualified, just making sure that they are financially qualified. With a seller, obviously, it's a lot more about motivation. It having the ability to purchase and having the motivation, a strong motivation to purchase. We talk a lot about motivation on our team. I think whenever you initially get into sales, somebody just saying to you, hey, I want to buy a house, or hey, I want to sell a house. Because, for instance, I want a shorter commute, or, something along those lines. And you think that, okay, that's enough motivation. That's not what motivation is, right? The reason behind, I tell people all the time, whenever you feel that like little tingle in your heart of I'm okay, I'm in this with you. I feel you. I know where you're at. I know what it is that you want to do, and I have the same goal you have. That's whenever you've reached real motivation, right? So somebody says, I want a shorter commute to work. Why? Why do you want to, what does that do for you? What does that mean for you? Does that mean that you get to have, when people say things like, I'm going to get to have breakfast with my kids in the morning. I'm going to be home whenever they get home from school. It's time, right? It's the things that you can't get back that you want more of. That's whenever you've reached real motivation. So whenever I know that for somebody, and I actually feel like, you know what, I would do anything to make this happen for you, then they're in my top 5, right? I know who they are. I know what they want to do, and I can understand them and relate to that, and I'll fight for them.
Right. Do you ever feel like you want it more than they do because you're so attached
Oh
to the process?
man, I struggle with that so much, so much. That's probably the number one thing that I have been coached on more than anything is, Leslie, you cannot want things for people more than they want it for themselves. That
Yeah.
like you, yes, I struggle with that a great deal.
Maybe we should start like a therapy club because I have
Yeah.
the same thing with my coach. All right, so going back to you're not on vacation, it's your typical day in the office. What are your lead gen goals each day?
Um, so that's a great question. I sway in and out of that and struggle with that the same way I think everybody does. Which is funny because I really do love lead gen. I love reaching out to people. I also love like practicing and honing in my skills where lead gen is concerned. But I definitely struggle with it. But goals are to touch at least 10 people every day, move them along in the pipeline. And obviously, as the market is changing, where I'm spending my time changes too, right? Right now, for instance, we've got a ton of expireds coming on the market, right? And so it's probably been a really long time for a lot of people, as well as myself, since they've talked to expireds or even had a large database of expireds to call through. So that's something that I'm working on right now.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions so far? For those of you driving, be careful. Okay, David, I can see your hand. Go for it.
When you mentioned talking with asking questions of when someone says I want a shorter commute and you ask them why,
Mhm.
is there is the real reason you asked that question, is one of the main reasons you asked that question because you want them to say out loud what it is they want a shorter commute for, because they may have never really thought it through, and they may say, well, you know what, maybe I don't really want a shorter commute, or to spend time with my kids. Is it sort of to help them help you tug the heartstrings a little bit about motivation, or help them solidify their own pecking order of what they want, or is it really just for you to be able to say Susie Q at 123 Easy Street is really motivated to do X, Y, or Z? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um, I would love to give you the businessy answer on that and say yes, it's for them, because it definitely should be. But I think in reality, if I don't feel strongly about, especially in this kind of a market, if I don't feel strongly about helping someone, I am not going to do that good of a job for you. I'm
So,
not like I need to feel that for them. And yes, definitely the follow up to that is it, because there's so many times throughout the process of a transaction where they're nervous or they're scared or they're trying to back out of something, or they're evaluating things, and being able to go back and say, genuinely say, is having breakfast with your children not the top priority anymore?
gotcha.
Has that changed for you? Right? Because if it's changed for you, and then it needs to change for me too. Right? I need to know where we're at with this.
So it helps
So
you stay on, it helps you stay on track with helps them stay on track, because sometimes their minds go all over the place and maybe they're upset or they're mad the person didn't
mhm,
accept their offer, and you're like, let's get back to the let's get back to
yeah,
your yes. Well, let's focus on what is important to you. Okay. Thank you.
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
I think real estate is one, I cannot talk. I think that this industry is one, like, we are just full of looky-loos and everybody wants to talk about real estate. Like,
Yeah.
if we sold
For sure.
shoes, one out of every five people, right? They'd be like, yeah, that's cool. What kind of shoes do you sell? Whatever. I like blah, blah, blah. But like what I've found out in my whatever 7, 8 years of this, is everybody does want to talk to you and they will talk to you. And I don't like small talk. So what I realized is I was easily
Right.
exhausted. And then when
Hmm.
I learned about motivation, I was like, oh yeah, now this, like, it's like a breath of fresh air into my
Yeah.
business of like finding those people that really are motivated. And so my heart doesn't pound that late at night, right? You
Yep.
go to bed and you're just like, wow, I have all these people I talked to today. Who do I need to follow up with tomorrow? And it's like, I have a pretty clear list of the top three every night of like, this is my priority tomorrow, just because I feel
Hmm.
I've done a much better job lately of really
Yeah.
finding motivation.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
everybody does just want to talk to you about it. And then you're like,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
God, I've got 20 leads. And it's like, no, really one of them. What is
Hmm.
the saying? Don't mistake momentum for action or action for momentum.
Hmm.
Losing that statement right now,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what that feels like if you don't find motivation. All right. So
Absolutely.
how do you know that you won the day?
How do I know I won the day? I think whenever I lay down at night and I don't have 5,000 things keeping me up, that is, that's probably my trigger that, I feel good. I did. it- Do you, do you remember that feeling when you were little and you're playing on the playground so hard and like you could fall asleep in your spaghetti plate at dinner, right? That's the kind of feeling I'm looking for every day, where I'm just like, I laid it all out. Everything I had is gone. I've poured it out. I'm good. I did all of the things. And it doesn't always mean that everything was super successful during the day, right? Like there are tragic moments during the day. But if I laid it all out and I have done everything that I could do, then I'm pretty happy with what I've done.
All right. Here's one of my favorite questions. All right, you have 14 days
Oh boy.
or Clay is saying that lifetime statement you just made of being on his team forever is toast. You have to get a buyer under contract. What do you do?
What do I
14 days
do?
or less.
14 days or less. Okay. Um, I'm oh my gosh.
Let's start here. Who
I,
do you call first, or where do you do first? Do you open house? Do you get on the dialer? Do you start smiling and dialing? Do you network? Where do you go to find that person?
yeah. So I'm pretty big on door knocking, love door knocking. So open houses are, yeah, I know. I'm like
You're
a
the
face to face girl.
you're the first person to say that. All right, door knocking. Everybody call her if you need tips.
Yeah. The quickest way always though is to call your people. Like I mean, calling your sphere, calling your past clients, those folks. It's a it's a I mean, that's it. If you have a sphere to tap into, that's who you tap into. If you have a vendor list, calling that vendor list, who do they know? Everybody knows someone that is looking, right? So it's pretty rare that I can call through 5 of my past clients without getting referrals, right? It's just
Dang.
it's just a matter of like sitting down and making those calls and actually getting in contact with people. Open houses are fantastic too, as long as you have a system around them, right? There's a before piece of it that has to happen, the actual open house, and then there's that follow up has got to happen. So as long as you're committed to the process of the open house, I think open houses are fantastic.
So if we have 14 days, are you door knocking, doing an open house, or calling your past clients in your sphere? Which one goes first for you?
But past clients and Sphere go first,
Okay.
100%.
And then door knocking or open houses?
So that's actually part of our system. So open house system incorporates all of those, all of that. So we're circle calling, we're door knocking, we're holding the open house, we're doing follow up calls afterwards.
Perfect. All right. So give me, if you don't mind, give me what's your best script for door knocking? I open the door and I'm just like, hey, what are you doing here? Who are you?
Yeah. Hey, Diller. It's amazing to see you. I wanted to let you know we're having an open house down the road. Have you seen the sign in the yard?
Yeah, I saw those signs go up.
Yeah, amazing. Well, your neighbor, I promised your neighbor that I'd let everybody know that the house was for sale. You have an opportunity now to choose your neighbor. Who do you know that may be interested in moving into the neighborhood?
Oh wow, I actually have not thought about that.
Well, what about any coworkers, family members, friends? Who's top of mind?
Um, Probably, yeah, actually I have been talking to a few friends who love this neighborhood. They're always laughing that they wish they lived over here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic neighborhood. What's your favorite thing about living here?
Um, we moved here due to the lot sizes and the school.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. How long ago did you guys move in?
2019.
2019. So you've been here for quite a while. You probably know a lot of people in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we've really gotten to know a lot of people, and recently we have a new baby, so we've sort of seen a whole other
Oh,
side of the neighborhood with just connecting with families.
that's fantastic. How long are you guys planning on living here?
Hold on one second, I'm taking a note for these guys. A lot. Okay, y'all can understand my jargon. Since we love the schools, I mean, I don't think we're making any sort of moves for 7 to 10 years.
Fantastic. So you're going to be here for a while. You're the lady to know for sure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll definitely keep in touch if that's okay with you. You mentioned that you've got a couple of friends that are thinking about moving into the neighborhood. Do you mind sharing their information with me? I'd love to invite them to the open house as well.
sure. Okay, hold on. We're gonna pause right there real quick.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear how she just is able to keep going? Like she's not she knows what to say next, right? And it's very friendly, it's very upbeat, her pace is good. I'm not like, what is she saying? I don't feel like it's salesy. I feel like she's interested in who I am. She's dropped a few compliments of, you're the lady to know. Have you met these people? Like, she's just added some of those little nuggets to make this a two-way conversation. I don't feel like she has a checklist, you know?
No, I want to love on you. You're going to be here for 7 to 10 years. I want us to have a relationship.
I
Absolutely.
I could feel that. Like the nosy neighbor or in the one who's like the anchor of the neighborhood, you want to be their friend. Because a
Oh,
lot of
you want
people
to,
will say, how many of you said, "Oh, she said 10 years, she's never going to be a client."
mm-hmm. She'll
That's
give
how
you
the
all of them
majority,
though.
yeah, that's how the majority of people will think about this. Is,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, she's going to be here for 10 years. I don't need to door knock her again." You need to be her best friend. You need to bring
Mm-hmm.
her cookies every time you're in the neighborhood because like in my neighborhood, I know there's several on my street alone, there's like 5 homeowners who have lived there for over 40 years. They're the first person to know when someone moves because everyone knows them and comes to tell them.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's
You know,
exactly right. It's exactly what we teach our team too. Get to know those people. And it's okay if somebody says, "Hey, we just moved in." Well, who do you know? Who is your nosy neighbor? Who's the person that's like sitting in their garage all day long? Like who is that person in the neighbor, right? I'm looking, actively looking for that house.
there's all of the older women in my neighborhood. They're seriously all like 70 plus. They have a moo happy hour and they all sit under this one tree in moo literally and they bring their little things from their garden and stuff. And they pick on us, the younger ones, and they're like, "Y'all are not invited to this because we have our own parties." And every time I see them, I go over there and they just start laughing. And, if anything, they know I'm a realtor. I've sold several homes on the street. I don't even talk about real estate. I just
Yep.
show up and, we all just giggle and they pick on me that I'm not allowed there. But those women know everything.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love that. Thanks for doing that with us. And then what do you do with the information that you gather? So maybe I share some information. Are you throwing it in a CRM or are you just writing it in a notebook and walking around with it for a long time?
Yeah, no, we use Brivity.
Okay,
And so it makes it really easy. The app's on your phone, you can take notes right there. But I absolutely love pen and paper. It, I love pen and paper. So usually like if we're walking around or I'm just meeting somebody or I'm talking to somebody on the phone, sitting at my desk, I'm doodling and taking notes the whole time.
perfect. Okay, and then have one more question and then we'll have 2 or 3 minutes for Q&A from everyone. Um, what is an action item that you would suggest for agents to do every week? Here are a few that we've been given in the past. And these are like non-negotiables. These are like, your week's not over unless you do this. So send 10 handwritten notes weekly, schedule your open houses by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, door knock 10 homes every week. What's your action item that you would give someone that their week's not over unless they do this?
Um, Yeah, so I'm gonna just say I'm gonna do whatever it takes, girl.
Okay.
So it's you do whatever it takes to make sure that you have appointments on your calendar. That's it. Whatever it takes. If the note cards aren't working, if you're smiling and dialing and you're not getting good feedback, like switch it up, change, do whatever needs to be done to make sure that you've got appointments on your calendar.
Um, I listened to and I don't know if you guys know who Jen Davis is, but she's a MAPS coach. She's very high up in the
Fabulous.
Keller Williams family. And I was listening to her podcast yesterday and she hit home with me. And it's kind of something that you just said too. Like there's a difference in a goal and a commitment.
Yes.
And
Huge
sometimes we like
difference.
muddle the two of them together. But what you just said, I mean, you're committed to doing whatever it takes. So then I have to know what's the most extreme thing you've ever done to get that appointment? Or
What's the
should I
most
ask
extreme?
Clay?
Yeah, that may be a Clay question. Um, Man, I don't know. I've definitely done some probably strange things. I'm definitely more extreme when it comes to like I've already got the client type of situation. Um, I don't know. That's a hard question, Diller.
All
Goodness.
right. Well, if you think about it, let me know. Okay, I have some questions in the chat box. Okay. Did you say
Okay.
let's see. She uses Brivity as her CRM. And so you can take notes right into the client field, is what she's saying, or the client contact card. If you don't have Brivity, I don't know if Command does it, but you may want to check or just take the notes. Always, always, always take notes, but more importantly, always get them into the client field or
Hmm.
the client contact card in whatever system you're using. I don't care if you have recipe cards, write those notes on the back, and before you call your clients, read those notes.
Yes, because
Um,
you will forget. You think you won't when you first start, but you will forget. And it's so nice to. I was on the phone with somebody one time and she got in a car accident while we were on the phone. And it was a super fast phone call. It was, I was smiling and dialing and she got into a car accident. And so I called her for like 8 months before I got an appointment with her. But the next time I called, I was like, "Hey, how are you doing? You got in a car accident." I didn't know this lady from Adam, right? I never would have remembered that out of the hundreds of dials I had made. So,
that
yeah.
stuck out. And I don't know if you guys heard it because I think we were all stuck on the fact that Lesley called someone to get in a car wreck. That's what I heard. Just like, but
Jeez.
but she said 8 months before she got an appointment. That is some serious
Yeah.
follow up.
Yeah.
And the
Brevity
fact
stand
that
and
you
that
even remember that, you're like, yeah, it took 8 months to get an appointment. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. It was long.
And then drop some advice for joining a team.
Make sure you're aligned. That's my biggest piece of advice. Make sure that you are aligned. Um a team like that I think that can make you or break you, right? The people that you surround yourself with, they can be amazing people and not aligned with you, or your goals, or we it's really important to us that we make sure that we're creating a world and an environment that's big enough to be able to have the people create their own dreams and be able to fulfill those things inside of it. And if you're not aligned, you can be going in opposite directions and you're going to peak out, right? So alignment is incredibly, incredibly important. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, never join a team for leads. You'll
No, for
you'll
heaven's sakes, please stop saying that to
yeah,
people.
you'll
Yeah.
get a few leads. You'll probably get the really cold leads, like the stack of leads that's been in the back office since the team started back, I don't know, in 2000 or whatever year. And you'll get those leads and you'll feel good because you'll feel some momentum. You need to be in the right environment and be aligned with how the team can help you and how you can help the team. So
Both.
final question for me. Okay, first of all, guys, I put Lesley's information in the chat up at the very top. If you have questions for her, try to send her one email with bulleted list questions. Try not to fire off a bunch of messages. Um, if Clay's team were hiring, how would they know more about the Bernie team?
Yeah, so you can check out our website. There's actually a careers section on bernie-austin.com. And you just fill that out. Clay will call you, and we'll meet up, and get to know a little bit more about each other. Make sure that we are aligned. And are we coming to a close here?
Yeah, I mean, we can keep going a
Okay.
little bit more, but if people start popping off, it's not because you're boring, it's just because it's 9. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, back to the alignment piece of that, you said something that's really important. I think a lot of people do join a team wanting to know what it is that they can get from the team, right? Going into that with the perspective of this is going to be a two-way relationship. I started with Clay a little over 5 years ago as an ISA. And we are now at a place where we have a path to partnership so that I own piece of this. And so it's making sure that you know who you're in business with and that you guys are going in the same direction can be a huge game changer, a life changing situation for you as long as it's with the right people.
Yeah, I think that some people think, oh, a team's sort of the easy button.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I bet for anyone who is interested in joining a team, that's why we also have these mentorship meetings so you guys can hear different ways to do this. Is my team 1000% different than Clay's team? And
Mm-hmm.
I know like Sarah's on this call and she's on the JW team. I'm
Yeah.
very close with the JW team, and I know that my team operates 100% opposite. And I also know that Clay's team. So we have 3 teams here. We all do similar volume, probably have similar head count, and operate in 3 different worlds.
Yep.
And
That's
we're
right. And
all
it's
aligned
all
for different
amazing.
reasons.
It's, yep. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you do business differently too. You know, I mean, I've been across the
Mm-hmm.
table from a few of you guys. Lesley, you and I have had some phone calls and stuff, and the way that we operate is just different, and that's okay. So make
Yeah.
sure you know exactly what she's saying. Like, who do you want to be aligned with? And it's hard to think, 2 or 3 years out when some of us can't even think, like, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
But that's important when you're going to when you're going to join a team.
Right.
And if anybody wants to chat with Lesley about what it looks like to be on a team, she's available. Not right now. She's on vacation, so we're going to let her go. Anyway, any final questions? If you're driving, please don't text or type. Please just chime in. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lesley. Oh, did she
Thank
freeze?
you, Diller. I don't know if you remember the first time we met, you brought me snacks. Do you remember that?
I think so, because weren't we all down in that hallway?
We were all down in that hallway together, and you came busted in with all these extra snacks. And I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, maybe that's why I thought you were a cheerleader, the energy. I don't know. And that, guys,
Yeah, I
that's
was
another
excited.
reason. Like Lesley and I, we know each other from this office, obviously, but we're also both here. So I would say if
Mhm.
you guys are at home and just trying to work and do this alone in your makeshift office, like, and you're just not feeling the energy, come here, meet people, bring snacks,
Yes.
say hello. Um, there's something about just the energy of this market center. I feel that you guys just need to come up here. There's so many working spaces. You'll start seeing people that we're interviewing and just say hello. Everyone's friendly, I think.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Everybody is. Yes. We talk about script practice all the time. And I'm like, guys, if you cannot find somebody, literally, you can go down the halls in the Southwest Market Center and just start, and they'll play with you. Everybody will play with you. Yeah, it's an incredible place, and it's an energy shifting situation over there. So for sure.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you. If you guys have
Awesome.
any questions for her, follow her on Facebook, follow her on social media, and go sell some of her listings.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Diller. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.